Hello, welcome once again to the Real Estate Titans podcast. I'm your host, Frank Ray. I'm here with a good friend of mine. Actually, I hadn't seen you in a long, long time, but I'm here with Mike Martin. He is with InMOTION Real Estate, his own company. How's it going, Mike? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today, Frank? Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. And I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I remember way back in the day, we knew each other. Gosh, this goes back before the big crash. Where we were kind of working in the same building together. You were doing some title stuff. I was doing some mortgage stuff. And so fast forward, just a couple of years, right? Just a couple of years. And now you're a titan, an absolute real estate
almost
titan.
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years later, a titan emerges. So I can't wait to chat you up a little bit. So just to give you all some input on Mike, he co-owns InMOTION Real Estate with your wife. Am I correct there?
That's correct.
Okay, yes. Good. So there's a boss in the equation here that I'm not interviewing right now, but good enough. We've got you, so that's fine. You've been at this game for quite a while, actually. You started InMOTION in 2021, so kind of recently. But prior to that, you've got like 7 years in real estate sales experience. Before that, you were in the title gig, doing that kind of thing. Let me give the peeps who are listening and watching your Titan-ish numbers. 2021, you did 54 units. And this is you. This is Mike. 54 units. 2022, 45. So you really slouched off in 2022.
Yeah.
Obviously, fabulous numbers for 2022. And so far in 2023, now, guys, we're in May. We're kind of in the beginning of May here. Mike's already got 22 on the books for 2023. Pretty remarkable stuff. I got to give you the big fat Real Estate Titans round of applause here. So the big round of applause going for you. Terrific numbers, Mike. If it's okay, we'll just dive into these questions so we can kind of pick your brain and see what's going on and how this all, goes down with you. So the first question that we have is we go right for the jugular. It's like, all right, Mike, what strategies are the most effective for you in getting your business, or generating leads, closing deals? Do you have a strategy, that stands out to you, or strategies that stand out to you as like being your faves?
Yeah. So and like you said, just to jump in here. So the thing that I've done really consistently throughout my real estate career is just trying to stay consistent. Everybody takes a vacation, everybody takes a week off, or month, whatever it is that you do. Take a couple of weekends off, but staying consistent. I work my contact sphere really hard.
Okay.
Constantly, nudging them, letting them know, and multiple methods. Email, text, phone calls. I talk to my past clients. I reach out to them. I do pop buys. And pretty consistently. And the last few years, my wife and I had worked on putting together some events for our clients and our friends and our sphere that are fun and family engaged activities.
Let me ask you this: when it comes to the past client sphere of influence engagement that you're talking about, which, by the way, just so you know, Mike, this is a very consistent theme across the Titans that we've interviewed. So this is clearly something that rises to the top all the time. But rather than tell me, I this is what I do with my sphere, do you have a regimented thing, like they get this many emails a year, this many phone calls a year, this many mailers a year? Do you have a system that you go by? Is it a coaching program, or is it just something that you've devised that you've learned over the years? And what is it? How often do you stay in touch, and by what methods?
Yes. So each of my client gets each of my close clients and my sphere, they get a home evaluation email every month where they can check their home
every
value.
Month. Okay.
Automated. So every month on that. So there's 12 touches. We do another 12 touches, a personal email from me to them, to the contact sphere monthly. And it just talks about, there's all sorts of various things that are in there. It's kind of like a newsletter update, et cetera. And then I check, text, and call my clients once a quarter.
Okay.
To check in with them, how's things going. And when I call them, it's not, hey, it's Mike, can I sell you a house?
Right.
I'm following up. I follow most of my clients. I follow on social media. Hey, how's things going? I saw that you got a job promotion. Congratulations. Yeah, it's. I really want to keep it an organic conversation. Not, oh, hey, my real estate agent's calling me and asking me for business again, or just wants to let me know that he sells real estate.
Yeah.
I genuinely care about my clients and the people that I've worked with, and potential clients too. I want to create an experience with them, and maybe I'm not selling them a house today or this year or whatever, but if I could be a resource for them and even connect them with my vendors, yeah, that's something I'm happy to do. That I want to help people.
It's awesome, man. That's totally awesome. So you do have set times, set things that you do. I do want to just probe a little bit deeper on the email side of things. You said it's kind of like a newsletter or something that you send out. Are you composing these things, or is this a canned system that you use? No right or wrong answer. Just curious.
Yeah. It's kind of a set it and forget it. It's got all sorts of different like seasonal topics that are on there. And then in addition to, so they're getting 24 touches via email from me. They're getting the call, text, whichever they prefer. I'm working on another touch to my clients this year right now. My operations manager and I are working on another point of contact. Okay. And then I have this year we've decided to change a couple of things, and instead of doing the quarterly pop buys, so to speak,
yes,
with a gift of some sort, we're changing 2 of those out and doing 2 events with my clients in sphere of influence that isn't like a tangible drop off.
Right. So an actual event, get together, let's get something to eat, show up here, and there's going to be whatever is going to be happening, and we'll be there hosting it, kind of thing. So a couple of those a year, along with a couple of pop buys a year. Right.
Yes.
Okay, great. Dude, killer. Great stuff. Oh, one more thing on the, just curious on the email system, and forgive me for digging so deep into this. It's really not that important, but I just know some listeners or viewers are probably going, what are you using to deliver that? Like, is there a system? Are you okay with sharing what you're using to make that automated piece happen?
Yeah, so that takes place through my CRM, which is Follow Up Boss. Is the
Follow Up Boss? Okay, great.
The best CRM is the one that you use.
That totally right. Yeah, everybody says that too, and it's absolutely true. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Well, let me ask you this: the next question that we typically ask our Titans is, Mike, do you do any? Are you a niche guy? Like, some people really focus on land, ag, horse properties, mobile homes. Do you niche on anything, or are you just, I am Mike, your everything real estate guy?
I don't have a good question. I don't have a specific niche. I am definitely looking to do more business in the country, especially since my wife and I have moved back to Vacaville and live in the countryside. So I'm a country property owner. I'm on a well system. I got a septic. I've done some repairs to that. So
you get all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. On a very personal level. Yes. But one of the things that I've been working on to kind of move forward into my like social media and doing more videos is that I'm the blue collar broker. I'm not a luxury specialist. I'm not a country club kid. I didn't grow up on the country club. My parents were working class. My dad was a refinery operator. My mom was a 911 operator for CHP. And so I watched them work shift work, all phases of that. And so, that's who I relate best with, is folks that are working class, that they have 10 minutes and they have to get back to work. They can't be on their phone all day, and so when I'm customizing their client experience, those things are in the back of my mind, like, hey, what's going to be best to communicate with you while we're in the middle of this transaction.
So do you use that phrase in your marketing? I'm the blue collar realtor,
blue collar broker. I have been. I'm working on doing more videos, and that is something that's coming into that. I have been very reluctant to do a lot of video marketing because I've been working on these COVID-19 pounds for a couple of years now, and so
you and me both, brother.
I need to just get out from behind it and just do it. This is me. This is what I'm. I'm not perfect.
This is me.
Yeah, this is me.
Well, it's awesome, man. Good. Awesome. Great answer. So
Thank you.
we'll see how the blue collar broker, progresses along.
It takes
I
off.
love it. So you mentioned follow up, boss, right? But outside of that, just in general, what's your favorite marketing platform? Do you have a favorite platform, or do you treat them all the same, or is there one that stands out to you? Like, I'll give you an example. Like we had a Titan on the other day who really loved Instagram. She was like, I'm an Instagram person. That's my fave. That's my go-to. That's my easy zone. Do you have anything like that, or no? If not, no big deal.
I utilize Facebook more than I utilize Instagram, and
Okay.
I think that's like my wife is an Instagram user, and I don't use Instagram. I would rather check Facebook than Instagram, and so I don't know. That's like the division in our household. So I do utilize Facebook more often than Instagram. We're working on doing more Instagram posts and activities right now.
Gotcha. Anything else that you like as far as platforms go? Are you a TikTok guy or anything like that?
I am not a TikTok guy.
Yeah.
I
Me
like
either.
to watch them. I haven't made any, but I like to watch them.
Really? Yeah, I couldn't. Man, my wife started the TikTok thing, and I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a try, dude. And it was just like, I can't do this. To me, I just couldn't do it. I was like, it's driving me nuts. I just got rid of it. But
I can get lost on there, and that's happened a few times. The thing that I actually really like about TikTok and certain things is like, if you're thinking about doing a project at home, you want to build a deck, or you want to, put set up a dog run, or even a recipe for dinner, you can type in, what can I do with my leftover rotisserie chicken, and 50 recipes will come up that are simple.
And they only last like 30 seconds, so you don't have to watch a big show. It's like, that was great.
So I can watch it real quick, and it's like, oh, I've done that before, or I wanted to try something different. So I definitely like it for that.
I'm going to go off script just a bit here.
Sure.
I'm just curious, because when we opened this up, we were talking strategies, et cetera, and you really brought up, as a lot of Titans do, you brought up, my sphere, my past clients, staying in touch, talking to them, communicating, that kind of thing. What percent? There's a lot of, these are big numbers, man. I mean, 54 and 21, 45 and 22, 22 this year. What percentage of this business comes from that sphere of influence, past client contact versus, your CRM stuff, or your, Facebook stuff, or, can you give me some insights into that?
75% of my business is sphere of influence.
Isn't that something? So many people say that too. So many Titans wind up saying that exact thing. It's staying in touch with your sphere. I'm gonna stay off script here just for one more question, right? Just for one more. But for somebody who hasn't been in it for 7 years in sales, right? Somebody's been in it for 7 months. Any recommendation to those guys as far as, getting started with a sphere?
Well, everybody has a sphere.
Right?
Okay. Unless you move here to this area. I mean, when real estate's very geographical. Frank, you've been in the game for a long time yourself. Yeah. It's very geographical, and so when you come into an area, I mean, I grew up here. My parents moved to Vacaville in 1985. We've been here pretty much ever since, and in Solano County. I guess my advice would be just to, for those folks that are just getting started, letting everybody know. Yeah. Hey, I've gotten into real estate. This is what I'm doing now. And they can do that in variable, they can send a letter, they can send a postcard, they can send an email, they can do a video, do a bonbon, text it, send that out to everybody. And then following up. When I first got in, somebody mentioned to me, grab everybody that you could possibly grab and take time and input their data
into your CRM,
into the CRM and into your home evaluation tool, so that they get this automatic update. And I've had people that I've never sold a house to that are in my sphere. They reach, hey, my brother wants to be, my neighbor. Could you help them? But I've never actually sold them a property. But it's still an incredible, piece of marketing, and my name is still going out there to them.
Love it. Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for going on. And we probably would address that later in one of the next questions. Sure. But while we were on it, I was just thinking, top of mind, people listening might be going, man, everybody's saying this, but what do I do? So, hey, so you've been at it for a while. Like we said, I mean, in 2021, 54 transactions, 2022, 45. So far this year, 22. That's a lot of transactions over the past, couple of years. Can you, and again, this is for the sake of the young kids coming up, Mike, the kids that are getting into the business right now. It always pays to learn from other people's, I don't want to say mistakes, experience, right? It always pays to learn from other people's experience. So with that, we always like to ask this question, which is, can you recall a transaction that you got through, but that was like one of those, I can't believe this is happening right now transactions, right? One of these like, oh my gosh, like this is nuts. How am I going to get through this? But some kind of a tough deal that you managed to get through, and what you learned from that, for the sake of someone else who might be watching right now, might be going through the same thing that you went through. Is there anything in particular?
Sure. A couple of transactions come to mind. One transaction, it was multiple transactions that I had an experience with that definitely, I don't know if we want to say redirected, but it shed some light on some things that I think it overlooked in the course of a real estate transaction a lot. And, most agents are, they're doing one transaction at a time, 1 to 2 transactions at a time. The escrow's opened, inspections take place, et cetera. So, and this specific one, this is a few years back, I took 9 listings at once from an investor, local. All of them were in Solano County, and successfully put all 9 of them in contract. And nice. Then for variable reasons, 4 or 5 of them, I want to say it was, we closed 5. We ended up actually closing 5, but throughout the course of this transaction, this individual, the seller, had already churned through a couple of agents before they came to me, and I was referred to this person through a vendor of mine, and the expectation was, things were ironed out, and then a lot of stuff was changing constantly. This individual did not want to complete the disclosures in a timely fashion, and didn't want to do the disclosures on the actual legal documents. They wanted to, create their own disclosures, and a lot of back and forth, a lot of requests to change, terms of the sale, price, list, all sorts of things throughout these transactions. Probably the most difficult client that I've ever worked with, and which was good because it was early in my career. Wow. And the getting the ones closed, and then the realization, like, hey, this was so much effort, so much, if you will, drama to get these transactions closed, when it really didn't have to be. And the thing that I walked away from it knowing was like, okay, I can take all sorts of crap, as you would say, from an individual or from multiple individuals, and really sticking true to my operating principles, to be honest, to be upfront, to be direct, and to be operating with integrity at all times. That really shone through for myself moving forward. And I learned that there are some folks I'm not a good match with, and that's okay. Because in the beginning of your career, especially as a real estate, at any time, hey, I'd love to sell you a house. Yeah. But you have to take time to and kind of slow it down to understand, like, am I really a good fit for this person? I'm going to be working with them for, X amount of deals or X amount of time length. Is this going to be worth my time? Right. And then, like, the transactional, piece that was critical, that I really got illuminated, was a lot of the changes. I changed the price, do this, do that, do this from the seller throughout the course of those deals, was making sure that I had everything in writing. The modification of a listing agreement, modification of terms. There were several things, and having it in writing is, the smoking gun at the end of the day. And so I've seen some folks, some other colleagues that, hey, they told me to change the price. I changed the price. I've got it here in text, or I've got it in email, which works, but at the end of the day, you really should have it agreed to and signed by all parties. Yeah, and a little more buttoned down, huh? A little more I's dotted and T's crossed. And so for me, moving forward from that, it's really I really try my very best to make sure that my paperwork is exceptionally clean. Every TC that I've ever had working with me and for me, I think that they would also agree, that I got my stuff lined up because I want to make it easy for everybody.
Yeah. Good one. Good answer. Interesting experience and I could see if it was early in your career, somebody saying, yeah, let's list 9 properties.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah. But then, you're right. Man, there was another Titan that we had on who said the exact same thing, had a difficult experience with a difficult seller. And sometimes in this business, you're right. You just have to stop and slow down for a second and think, are we really a good match here? Because we are going to basically sort of kind of get married to this person for a minute and have to go through that. Great stuff. Great advice, man. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, that, and you were talking about buttoning down the files and making sure they're together. That's kind of leads us to the next question, which is, how do you go about staying organized? You're doing a lot of transactions, right? And what do you have something that you use to help keep all things on track? How do you keep it all together in an organizational way?
Yeah, so I time block everything.
Okay.
In fact, my entire life, my entire day is time blocked. I have a time to get up and have coffee. I have a time to meditate. I have a time to exercise. I have a time to check emails and work on transactional things that need to be addressed early in the day. I have a time to take my kids to school. Time to pick my kids up. And I very regimentally stick to that schedule.
You do.
Yeah.
Did it take you long to get to that point, or
it did.
Were you naturally good at it, or did you have to work at it?
I'm naturally an organized person, and my thoughts are mostly organized. But in this business, when your phone's ringing and the emails are going off, and you've got all of these things, you've got to pull up this database, the MLS, and it goes on and on and on. You can get lost. And I realized that pretty quickly, that you can get completely lost in your day, and then you spun your wheels all day, and you didn't achieve the things that you wanted to get done. And it's 7:00, and the main reason why I decided to start selling real estate and get into this side was because I love it and I'm passionate about it. But I wanted to work for myself, and I wanted to have control of my day, and I wanted to eat breakfast with my kids and pick them up from school every day, and so I needed to reorganize. So it took me a few years to really understand that that's exactly what it was that I needed to do, is keep it time blocked, and on my calendar, it's like, you're doing this, boom. And then it goes off, and you try to finish up. And if you can't, you set it aside, and I've got catch up time built in every day. Hey, I didn't complete the task that I needed to complete in that 1 hour, 30 minutes or whatever it was. And so now I'm going to go back to it and finish it up before I end my day.
Got it. But for the most part, you do your best to block out blocks of time that are for certain activities, and you've got the blinders on during those set times to do the things you're going to do, even though you see that email pop up in the corner of your eye, and that's something you do got to deal with. Unless it's just a drop dead emergency, you're able to go, no, that gets dealt with in 45 minutes, and nobody's going to die, right? The transaction's still going to close. I can still do that. So you're pretty good at keeping to your time blocking then.
Yes. One of my early mentors in the business said, "It ain't over till it's over." So I mean, the fiery emails can take place all day. And there's a time, and I believe that there's a time and a place for everything. So there are times where, hey, I'm going to deviate. I'm going to address this situation, and be proactive about taking care of whatever it is that I need to take care of, and then get back on my time block.
Awesome, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Do you use, sticking to this question, what calendar do you use? A Google Calendar? What calendar do you use?
Yeah, I use Google Calendar. Yeah.
Why do you use Google Calendar?
It's my email is, I'm on G Suite.
Okay.
And it's the easiest. It integrates with
everything,
with pretty much everything. And so it's my family calendar's on there, my work calendar's on there. It's easy.
Does your team? Do you share it with your team? Your calendar shared with your team? Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. We found that too. We pretty much exclusively go Google Calendar, just because we can all see each other's schedule and we can easily function that way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, cool. The next question, we swapped this one out. I don't know if you have the old one or the new one, but we're moving to technology, and we've already touched base on technology a little bit. You mentioned that okay, Google Calendar, we use that, right? You did mention you kind of like Facebook as a platform. You mentioned you have Follow Up Boss. But outside of any of that, you did say Follow Up Boss, right? Was it you?
Yes.
Was I think you somebody else? Yeah. I've done a lot of these interviews, Mike. They're all jumbled up in here. But outside of anything, those things that we just mentioned, any of those things, or you could even, if you wanted, you could even still talk about one of those things. But do you have a favorite technology piece? Is there something like, I can't live without this? Forget the Google Calendar. Of course, we can't live without that. But, and what I'm talking about was like, something cool, cloud-based that you're like, oh, that's cool, man. I like that thing. I don't want to live without that. Yeah.
So my favorite technology gadget, so to speak, and specifically in real estate at this point in my career, is the Side app. That is the proprietary. As I'm a Side partner, Side's my broker. I am a licensed broker, but I'm a broker associate and managing broker of my company. So the Side app for us agents that are Side partners, it really organizes all of the pieces that come together for a listing, for a purchase, et cetera.
Okay, you're going to have to back up for a second here. Side, S-I-D-E?
Yeah, S-I-D-E, yes.
And so Side, so you're a broker associate. So Side is a brokerage, basically?
Yeah, so Side powers the back end, like a lot of brokerages. So they take they take top producing agents in each market, and ask us, hey, would you like to partner with us and continue to build your brand, but really do some more like a boutique fashion. And that is one of the tools that is a part of the package. And so it kind of centralizes everything for us: documents, DocuSign, G Suite, G Calendar. There's a Follow Up Boss is provided as part of that. DocuSign is part of that package. So it's all in this one app, this one program, where I can, like, if I got a call right now, it says, hey, Mike, I want to list my house, and we've already talked numbers and put it together. I can do everything in the app.
No kidding.
Complete it, everything from start to finish, input everything, do all of the paperwork, the disclosures, have everything signed, and then it comes back, and my TC that's on with me, once a document comes back, it's signed, it automatically goes to her. And so from a document management perspective, all of the documents are with her, so that it's a lot more seamless process.
That's pretty cool. Does it also keep track of, since you're running your own business, right? Does it also keep track of revenues and commissions and all that fun stuff? So it's like the whole business.
All of the back end. All of the back end is taken care of through the app and through Side. Yeah.
So we mentioned this in the green room right beforehand, but I think you may be intriguing some who are watching this. Are you hiring? Are you looking to bring new agents on to have this experience?
Yes. Okay. We are always open to having new agents come and partner with us.
When you say new agents, do you mean brand new agents or new to you agents? What are you? And it's no answer is a bad answer.
And full transparency. And I've met with some brand new agents, over the course of time, and there's a lot to learn, and I'm trying to get away from saying the crazy thing. The thing about real estate and like a lot of industries is it's all on the job learning. You can have a mentor. Some mentors are better than others. I was fortunate. I had some really good mentors in my first formative years, and I had a pretty good understanding of the business, having that title and escrow background, transitioning to this side. I knew what it was that I was supposed to be doing. So there is a place for a brand new agent, but I won't take 10 brand new agents at once.
Gotcha.
I would probably have no hair at that point.
Yeah.
But I'm open to it, and I'm certainly open to having a conversation with a brand new agent or an existing, current in production agent,
experienced agent, right? Yeah, just curious to learn more about Side and InMOTION in particular. And okay, well, that's good to know. Right on, man. Good to know. Interesting. Great answer. Haven't heard that one yet. So that's a good one. The next question we already answered, which is just, do you get business from your past clients,
Absolutely.
and how do you stay top of mind? We pretty much covered that. 75% of your business comes from them. How do you stay top of mind? You listed off several ways that you stay in touch. So we've already covered that. And I did ask you, because you said that in the beginning that a lot of your business, most of your business comes from the sphere of influence, past clients. So what advice would you give somebody who doesn't have one? You covered that as well to a certain degree. But the next question is, though, what advice would you give someone who's new or struggling right now? And maybe we could sidestep the, work on your sphere of influence, because we kind of covered that. Mike, is there any other advice that you would give to somebody who's kind of newer, getting started, or, most of the newer getting started are the ones that are typically going to be kind of on the struggly side a little bit right now. But what advice would you give someone who's just kind of getting going? I mean, you've been at it for 7 years, which is, I'll be honest, 7 years ain't that long, right? I mean,
it's not.
It's not. And you're doing pretty doggone well for being in that. I would consider that to be, an adolescent realtor. You know what I mean? But what advice would you give somebody who's just kind of trying to get going?
Yeah, I think one of the things that helped me in my career, especially and contributed to my success. I mean, there's a couple of things. It's like a two-part answer, but my wife has always had my back. I have an incredibly supportive partner. My wife and I have been together for, this year we've been together for 18 years. We've been married, coming up on 17 years. We just had, a few months back, we had our 16th anniversary. So we're working on number 17, and she's always been supportive of, me in this business. We have good days and bad days. We have great days. We have terrible days, but at the end of the day, she's still there with me. And so I think that's key. That's been a key contributing factor to my success. For somebody who's, new to the area, or, just new to the business period, just getting in there. I had the opportunity when I was working for the title companies to get to know a lot of the agents. Through dealings with the Association of Realtors. And I have been since I came back to the business, been involved with the Association of Realtors. I served as a director the last 2 years. At the end of 2022, that was the end of my my first stint as a director. I'm involved in a couple other committees that are at the association. I don't attend every meeting, but I think for somebody who's new, to get out there and get their face out there and to meet people and network, it's always good to, you work a deal with an agent, you've never met them in person, or you've talked on the phone 10 times, but you've never seen them face to face, especially after these, COVID years, to be able to see them at the board breakfast or at an event. And hey, how are you? Good to meet you. Now I have a face to go along with, not just, your business card or a text.
I like it. So you mentioned in that answer, so you have served then with the association.
I have. I'm currently still serving. Yes. I'm
serving.
The treasurer this year for the charitable foundation.
Okay. And okay, just so you know, you are not the first Titan to say that as well, right?
I'm sure.
This also seems to be a bit of a common thread, is that the Titans who are doing really, really well are very involved in the industry, right? And and so outside of just becoming more familiar with the industry and increasing your knowledge base within the industry, which is always a plus. Is there any other reason that you do that? Why do you participate with the association or serve in these capacities? Is it just for the? I shouldn't say it. Is it for the experience of getting to know all your peers better in your community, or is there any other reason for it?
Yeah, there is. So I believe that my contributions and the time that I've been involved with the association has been beneficial to my business and to my success. And so, I belong to an organization, and I'm sure you've heard of it over the years, BNI, Givers Gain.
Sure.
That's Business Networking International. That's the founding principle, Givers Gain. And so if I give to the association, I'm going to gain back from the association. Maybe it isn't necessarily business. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a referral transaction. Those things don't so much come. It's not so much transactional for me. It's more about giving back. I was the membership committee chairperson for 2 years at the association. Helping brand new agents, do the training, get inducted, and kind of getting a little bit of a foundation and getting set up. And I like that. I like being able to give of myself freely with no strings, no expectations, to contribute towards somebody's success, or even just to make their day better. I'm all for that.
Awesome. Great answer, man. Great answer. And it doesn't hurt to be well known amongst your local peers, does it?
No, I would say that 9 out of 10 times, right? If I'm writing an offer and it's to another member who's active in the association and we know each other, I think I have a better shot of getting my client's offer accepted, because hey, I'm going to do what it is that I'm going to say. There's trust.
I know this guy.
There's a rapport there. I'm going to have to see them next week. I want to make sure this thing goes smooth as possible.
Right. Excellent. Well, we're down to the last two, man, which is basically, what areas, if there was someone watching this, if a consumer was watching it and they were looking to maybe buy or sell, or if this is getting watched by an out-of-state agent who has a buyer or seller, what areas do you serve, and what's the best way for someone to reach you?
So Solano County is the main market that I serve, and I will branch out pretty much within an hour of Solano County. So, excuse me, I do sales Napa, Yolo, Sacramento counties, Contra Costa counties. On occasion, I helped a couple of clients. They wanted me to sell their place in Santa Clara County about a year and a half ago, and then they moved up here to Solano County. And so I would do that. That's not my norm. I try to refer folks. It's a couple hours away to a local specialist. So pretty much about an hour outside of Solano County. I'll go that far.
Great. And what's the best way to reach you? Phone?
Yeah, phone, text.
What's the number?
Email, social media. 707-592-1272.
1272. Awesome. Yep. We'll make sure we've got that prominently displayed for everybody. Cool, man. Well, hey, Mike Martin, InMOTION Real Estate. He's looking for other agents as well. Big numbers, an absolute titan out here in Solano County. Man, what a cool interview. I can't thank you enough for being on the show. I'm sure this is going to be very helpful to a lot of people, and it's very kind of you to share your answers and your experiences with everybody. I really appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
All right, no problem. Well, Mike, you have a good one. And for the rest of you that are watching, don't forget, I'm Frank Ray, Texana Bank, lend in all 50 states, on-time closing, superior communication, and unprecedented follow-up. If you'd like to reach me, you can reach me at 707-220-1444. Me and my team would be happy to help. So with that, we'll go ahead and get on out of here, man. Mike Martin, InMOTION Real Estate, an absolute titan. Thanks, man, so much. Been an absolute pleasure. We'll catch up with you later. And for the rest of you, we'll see you next time here on the Real Estate Titans podcast. Adios, everybody.